What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Keon, Mr. Rockoff Johnson, and just move this a little bit. And today, we are going to talk about manual versus automatic versus Shiftronic, paddle shift, whatever. So, let me start off by giving you a little bit of backstory. So, hello, how you doing? Anyway, so, earlier this week, actually 2 days ago, I let a buddy of mine drive Mystique here. Now, the reason why I let him do it is because he helped me out with working on my truck, and he didn't want any money, so I said, hey, you can drive my car, which he was definitely happy about. Now, while we were in the car, we were just talking and everything, he began to say some stuff. I should have recorded it, but I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. But he began to say some stuff that was interesting that I never would have thought. So, he is a pure-blooded, manual transmission driver. His daily driver is a 2005 or 6 Scion TC, by which whenever I see it, I get so much nostalgia, because if you've been on the channel long enough, or if you just go back and look at some of my older videos, I used to have an 07 Scion TC. Mine was an automatic, but I still had a TC. But yeah, he daily drives that every day. It's a manual transmission. When we were talking about like our dream cars and everything, all his cars have to be stick shift. Yeah, he is a complete manual transmission kind of guy. So you can imagine him driving my automatic, FRS with the paddle shifters and all that kind of stuff. Well, he might not have liked it, but not true at all, which is what, is sparking this conversation. Now, go ahead and let me know, down in the comments what you, personally think. But have an open mind about this topic. Now, while he was driving my car, he told me that, he actually drove a lightly modified FRS before, that basically has the same modifications that, I have. And I was like, oh, really? He was like, yeah, he had the intake, he had the catback exhaust. Me, I have a full exhaust, but, whatever, basically same thing. Mine is just louder. But he said when he was, getting in the car and everything, he probably figured that, it wasn't going to be as fun or as engaging, because, that FRS is a manual and he loves driving manual so much. But he drove this car just to get used to my car specifically, because I do have, my upgraded wheel setup and everything, which isn't, well, you think it wouldn't make that much of a difference, but honestly, after driving this car stock and then driving the car with my wheel setup now, it makes a huge difference with the handling. But, oh yeah, so real quick, just in case you have any questions about my wheel setup, I'm running 18-inch wheels that are 18 by 8s with 235, I think 40, 18 Goodyear Eagle F1 asymmetric 2 3-season summer tires. But oh, hello, Maserati behind me. Well, not directly behind me, but yeah, wow, that's beautiful. But anyway, so he told me that, yeah, getting in this car, he didn't think it would be as engaging because it is an automatic. Now, he drove it a little bit in automatic mode, and then he started driving it, in manual mode when we were halfway, going through the twisty, windy road that I took him through. And then he started to say something that completely caught me off guard. And he said, even though the manual, there's the Maserati right there in front of me now, but even though the manual transmission is more engaging, he basically believed he would have to drive the cars back to back to see which one he's having more fun in. Because him driving this car with the paddle shifters and everything, he felt like he liked this one a lot more. And he did say a lot of it was because my car had character, which is crazy because I didn't even think. Well, I knew my car had character, but I didn't know it had a distinct character that everyone can see that either drives it or rides in it or anything like that. But he said he was basically having just as much fun, or if not more fun, than when he was driving the manual transmission FRS, which blew my mind. Now, I probably should have said this way earlier, but I initially wanted the manual transmission in this car. It just happens that when I went to buy it and everything like that, I also wanted the car in black. They didn't, hope you can hear me right now, but they didn't have a manual transmission, nor did they, oh, S2000 over there, nor did they have a car in black, so I ended up going with the automatic with paddle shifter, ultra, what is the exact color? Ultramarine blue FRS, which it grew on me and everything, so I'm totally fine with it now. But yeah, and just in case anyone's wondering, instead of him using the shifter down here, he was using the actual paddle shifters, up top. And he wasn't going easy on my car. So he was definitely getting a full experience of the handling and whatnot. But he said he was having so much fun in this car, which leads me to this question. It took a while to get there, but it leads me to this question. Just because a car is a stick shift, does that automatically mean you have more fun in a manual car versus an automatic? Now, granted, that question may be a little out there because, you can also go deeper into it, like, oh, well, is an automatic with paddle shifters, or is it just a straight automatic where you can't control, the shifts at all? And, honestly, you determine that for yourself. Just before, you start saying stuff in the comments and whatnot, just elaborate is all I'm saying. But yeah, so can you have more fun? Because me personally, whenever I've driven a stick shift transmission and everything, okay, I'll use a good example. 3 weeks ago, my uncle, who is the uncle I actually talked about from my channel trailer, that actually basically got me started with cars and everything. Let me turn this air down. But actually got me started with cars and everything. He had me drive his, manual transmission Honda from his pothole from his baby mother house. So I was like, okay, cool. Now, I will completely admit this. I was very rusty with driving the stick, and I completely sucked at it. I completely sucked. I stalled like 6-7 times. I will completely admit that, and I have no problem admitting that. And in his eyes, he always felt as though I was never really all that good at driving stick. So it was good practice for me again. I'm sorry, I gotta get this Maserati right there. Beautiful car. But yeah, he felt as though I was never good at driving stick. But he's also a hard ass. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun driving his car and whatnot. And it honestly had everything to do with just how engaging it is, driving a manual transmission versus an automatic. Because then, after I got done doing that, I was driving in my mother's Corolla that day because she was using my truck. And like I said, I don't daily drive my FRS. So I'm either using my truck or my mother's car whenever she needs to use my truck for whatever reason. But I was using my mother's car, which is a complete automatic, and I got behind the wheel of that, and I felt like it was missing something. It was missing something, and it was, the engagement of a manual transmission. and just the satisfaction of, you know, of even just pulling off. Now, granted, I might be saying this because I completely sucked at, you know, driving it at first, but just the pure satisfaction of being on a hill and, you know, just making a car pull off without stalling or anything like that. But doing that yourself with the clutch and shifting and everything, it felt really good. But which also brings me to when I got behind the wheel of my FRS and I just started, you know, using the power shifters. Now, I never really put it in manual mode when I'm like making these little vlogs or videos like that. Honestly, just because, I don't know, I just want to concentrate on, you know, the topic at hand. But yeah, when I got behind the wheel of this and I started using the paddle shifters, it's like I wasn't missing anything really, because I still felt pretty engaged, just, you know, no clutch. Even though that is a huge part of the engagement. I don't know, it's weird. But just tell me your opinion on it. Because me personally, especially after hearing what my friend Devin said and everything, I don't think, you know, having an automatic with paddle shifters is really missing anything versus you having a full manual transmission. I honestly totally believe that. Now, a pure automatic versus a manual transmission, I will say yes. You know, you're gonna miss out on some fun. But other than that, so far as, you know, if your car has a Shiftronic or whatever it's called transmission on it, you should be totally fine. Because I mean, when you think about it, why do you think all the supercar manufacturers are going with, you know, automatic transmissions? It's because they're so precise. But they still have the paddle shifters on them and everything, which still, you know, gives you that engagement when you want it. So that's why I personally think you're not missing anything. If anything, and this may be a stretch, and I may get some people mad with this, but if anything, you having the automatic transmission with the paddle shifters, you know, Shiftronic, where you're either shifting down here or with the paddle shifters up on the steering column or on the steering wheel, you're kind of having a little bit more fun. I don't know, that's just me though. But yeah, go down in the comments and let me know your opinion. And as always, you stay classy. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. There's an annotation here or somewhere to subscribe to my channel. And as always, have a good day, stay classy, and stay positive.